Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to focus on our emotional well-being, okay? And we're going to be addressing how to control your attachment to people, places, and things. Now, this is going to help you overall in life with attachment issues and just having the right way of approaching becoming attached to anything. And if you just so happen to be stuck in the healing process of narcissistic abuse where you just can't seem to cut that attachment that you created when you were bonding with the narcissist's false self, maybe this video will help you shift a little bit in your perception so that you can begin to have healthier kinds of attachments moving forward and break the attachment to that toxic individual, okay? So let's get into this. Why is this important? Why is this important? Because when you attach to something, you're giving it a certain amount of power. As far as you attach to things, you generally care about it on some level. And the harder that you attach to it, obviously, the deeper you care for it. And there's nothing wrong with forming attachments, but it's just better mentalities that can go along with these attachments. In the event that something shifts or changes, you're not devastated, or you can make adjustments with your attachments, all right? So let's talk about this, the mentality or the things to keep in mind when we're attaching ourselves to something or even thinking about attaching ourselves to something. Before the attachment even occurs, these are the things that would be great for you to have in your mind as a mature adult, okay? Be mindful and not hasty, and take your time with things. You know, a lot of times unhealthy attachments occur because we're rushing into a situation, okay? So, you know, taking forever doesn't guarantee that the attachment might not need to be broken, but, you know, if you do your due diligence and get to know something and do your research, you can lower the probability, okay? Which leads me to my next point. Realize that most things in life are temporary. If you really want to get philosophical about it, almost everything in life is temporary because no one lives forever, nothing. So when you're attaching to something, you have to keep in mind that almost everything basically has an expiration date, okay? And that's not for you to be dark and gloomy, it's just for you to be realistic about things, okay? The next thing to keep in mind is nothing is perfect. No person, place, or thing, pretty much. So what happens is when we start saying things like, oh, this person is perfect for me, or that's perfect, we put it on a pedestal. And when things are put on a pedestal, of course, we will have a stronger attachment at that point. And what happens when we have that stronger attachment is there's usually an inevitable letdown or disappointment or some sort of being blindsided because we put it on a pedestal, you know. So it's just having that healthy balance of understanding that nothing is perfect and nothing really is forever, all right? Which brings me to my next point. Be prepared to lose anything in any given moment. And I know that sounds like, that sounds really negative, Lakia. That sounds really sad, dark, and gloomy. But no, it's just being realistic about things, okay? The next thing I have on here is if you're dating and the person isn't your husband and wife, keep that in mind as well. Because even husbands and wives can let each other down and leave each other. But to form such an attachment over someone that's not even committed to you for life, you know, we have to be careful with those things. All right, because even people that commit to each other in life let each other down. And then again, that draws on me saying that no one is perfect, okay? The next thing I have on here is to learn how to keep your perspective. You know, I'm just here to keep it real with things, but if you keep your perspective about things in general and not get carried away with yourself, this is going to help you control your attachments to things. All right, you won't get caught up in your emotions, you know, because yes, feeling in love and everything, that's a beautiful thing. But most people that have been in long-term relationships know that, you know, that's kind of something that's fleeting, you know, that real high. As a matter of fact, they call it the honeymoon stage. And usually it doesn't last forever because things get a little realer. You know, you're going to have your first argument. You're going to have that day where you look at that person and you're not going to like them. But you might still love them, you know, but you might not like them. And then one day you might not even love them. So just, you know, learn how to keep your perspective so that you're not getting carried away in one moment, you know, because things tend to change and things can shift. All right. So, you know, I'm just saying this so far, not to say that you can't have fun, laugh, or relax, but, you know, when it comes to having an attachment to something, you have to, it's best to be emotionally sound, basically. The more emotionally, well, let's just say emotionally and mentally sound with it. You know, let me just draw for myself for a moment. You know, I'm pretty sure one day that I'll remarry. But will I put my husband on his pedestal to think that he will never do anything wrong, or I can't put this past him, he would never do this? I can't say that. You know what I'm saying? He's going to do something wrong because no human being is perfect. So, you know, I will deal with him in accordance. Does that mean that I wouldn't believe that him and I could last forever or have an enduring love and partnership and yada, yada, yada? Of course I could believe those things. And that's why I'm going to marry him, because I believe we can withstand all the ups and downs and lefts and rights. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't make it 50 years with someone without going through those trials and tribulations. You can't make it through those rough times because they're going to come. But sometimes it goes to the end all be all. And if you can't control your attachments to people, places, and things, you're going to constantly be devastated, blindsided, and be holding on to toxic things longer than you need to, because you can't say, okay, yeah, I did get attached to this person, but they no longer serve me, so I have to let go. All right? And what also happens if you can't control your attachment issues is you start to chase, you start to beg, you start bending over backwards, you start compromising your core values, and you don't want to do that either. But that's what happens when you're not having healthy attachments. All right, I'm going to make this a part 1, and there's going to be a part 2. So if this video has helped you in some way, go ahead and hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe, and until next time, take care.